Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. I'm joined here by the host of Get Your News On with Ron Placone. And I wanted to talk today because, Ron, you've done a little research on this. I'm just learning about this whole what's happening with GameStop and how basically, and tell us, but it seems like fans and Reddit are making a stock go up or something like that. Which is kind of amazing. So, Ron, explain this to us. What's happening?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm not a financial expert. Neither of us are, just in case anyone's just like, oh, we're not financial people at all. But here's basically the nuts and bolts of what happened. There was this subreddit group, and I think they're just called Wall Street Buyers or something like that. And they all got together and they organized buying stocks of GameStop, and it caused it to go way up. It went up by over 100% pretty quickly. And here's why they did that. So in the Wall Street world, there is a process called short selling. And what that is, and this is a very elementary explanation of it, but say I want to make some money in the stock market and I want to do it via short selling. So I borrow a stock at $10, right? I borrow the money and $10 and I get the stock.
Borrow money?
I borrowed the stock. I borrowed the stock itself, so I didn't pay for it. Okay. But I borrowed a stock worth $10. Now, of course, there's interest involved and stuff like that. But for simplicity's sake, I borrowed a stock for $10, and then I immediately sell it. I sell it right away. So it's worth $10. That's what I borrowed it for. I didn't pay for it yet, but I borrowed it for $10 and I sell it. So I got $10 in my pocket now. I've spent nothing technically, but I owe on it. What I'm doing there is I'm betting that stock is going to go down. I'm betting that stock is going to suck. So it's going to go down. So maybe it'll get down to like $1. And I'm like, well, I borrowed this. Time to ante up. Here's $1 because the stock's worth $1 now. So now I had already sold it for 10. I anteed up for the 1 because I just borrowed the stock. I didn't pay for it. So I'm up $9. That's called short selling. And, imagine that at a massive level where you have a bunch of dishonest people involved hedging their bets. And you have our horrible system that's known as Wall Street that should have never happened. So that's like the elementary gist of what that is. Now, what happened in this case is a bunch of people caught on to what I was doing. And they said, fuck this guy. So they got together and they all bought the stock that I pulled this thing with, that I tried to do this short sell with. So one day, my advisor, because I have someone advising me and they're keeping an eye on it. And maybe if they see it go up a little bit, they're like, oh, shit, Ron, it went up to $11. You know what? Just get rid of it. You're going to lose $1, but whatever. That's the gamble you take. But one day, my advisor, and I have a top advisor because I'm a big spender at $10 here. But my advisor, he wakes up and he sees, oh, shit, this stock just tripled in price. And it's like $300 now. Ron sold it for 10. He's screwed. That's what this subreddit got together and did to all of these hedge fund people. They basically said, fuck you guys. Because these guys did it to GameStop. Why? Because GameStop is basically a blockbuster video for video games. So they're thinking, we're going to cash in big here, on this scam. It was down to like $2.50, I think, around a year ago. Now it's like $300 something. So it went up over 100%. So they just screwed over all these hedge fund people. They're crying. They're flipping out. They're wanting to, they're wanting a bailout. And here's the thing. And again, not a financial guy. I know this is a very elementary explanation, but when I was looking at the numbers in real time, because this was just like freaking curious. And I was honestly, I was just laughing, staring at it all. But like a lot of the stocks are going down right now because the one thing that's also part of the stock market is confidence. That's part of it. That's right. Kind of a basic thing. So now when you know that a bunch of people on a subreddit can basically do this whenever the fuck they want, that might scare you a little bit. So, I mean, and I don't know a ton about the people on the subreddit. I don't know much about the subreddit itself. So I'm not, making any statements on that one way or the other. But that's pretty interesting that a bunch of people can get together and do this and really shake up this this system that should never exist.
Yeah, well, I mean, what it does is it shows how kind of corrupt the stock market is. And it's another reason why I've become a big crypto proponent. I know you have as well. We'll get into that in a second. But like, it shows how, one of the reasons I tried to do the stock market like 15 years ago. And it's just like, if you're just a regular Joe with a couple of grand, forget it, man. You're getting, it's 85% of all stocks are owned by 10% of the population, basically. So it's a bunch of rich people and these hedge funds and these, secret handshake East Coast assholes cooking the books. Like I just, and
if you're betting against something, you're probably going to get screwed.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
You're buying into it. You're just average Joe stock buyer. You're like, oh, GameStop seems like a reasonable thing. They've got this new, I read in an article that GameStop is adding, whatever. That's how you find a stock, or your advisor tells you, but you read something like, oh, GameStop is adding this new online app and you can do gaming or whatever their thing is. And they're making a deal with Twitch. And you think, well, I'm going to buy $1,000 worth of GameStop at $10 a share. And you're thinking, well, maybe it'll go up to a 12 or 15 and I'll pull a little money out. No, you're doomed, because some hedge fund put $100 million in and they're deliberately nosediving the stock. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, it's so crooked. And the stock market is also just like more, it's this other evil tool of capitalism. And then, of course, as we know, the corporate media goes, boy, the stock market's doing great. Well, that has nothing to do with the economy. It has nothing to do with it. It just means a handful of Wall Street dicks are making big money. So again, like you say, who knows who's involved in this subreddit group, what their intentions are. But if that subreddit group made some hedge funds lose money, I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good prayers. I like, which is really intriguing. And it's another reason why I started getting really educated. You and I, we're both approached to join Rockfin at the same time, spring of 2019. We did it. It's funny. I had Martin Floriani on the show last week, and I confessed to him. I said, dude, Ron and I had a conversation, and I said, Ron, let's just take this first couple of months. We'll get a little money, but if Rockfin doesn't get another round of funding, they'll be out of business by the summer. And he started laughing. I was like, I just got to be honest with you, dude. That's what I thought was going to happen. And I just was like, all right,
if you ever ask me, I'll deny everything. I never doubted you. I don't know what Elwood's telling you. What time did he say the conversation happened? 6 a.m.? There's no way. I wasn't awake. He lied to you.
Yeah, I didn't get into your pre-coffee conversation about Rockfin because those don't count. It's like when I'm really hungry, it doesn't count what I say. So it's like, and you and I had a conversation like a week ago about, wow, Rockfin and crypto in general is really, we both were like, man, I get it now. And not only do I just get like, the Ray token that Rockfin does, but cryptocurrency in general, how empowering it is, because there's no central, like, look, a big crypto holder, and it could be a person, it could be a hedge fund, it could be whatever. They can manipulate the price if they buy or sell stuff. Of course they can. You know what I mean? Anyone that's got that kind of money can manipulate the price, but they can't just flat out scam it. And the thing about like Bitcoin specifically, there's only so many of them. They have that, every whatever it is, 4 years, they have the number of ones that are mined. So it was designed by a person or persons that were brilliant, that were like, you can't get more of this. And it's because it's blockchain, it's open it's transparent, it's open source technology. So where the stock market, I don't know what, and also companies lie and manipulate stuff to make their stock go up or down, whatever. A company could be like, their board of directors could be like, we're going to short this stock, so we're going to nosedive this company and cash out. Like it's all crooked, and that's why I love cryptocurrency, because even right now the stock market is tanking, but GameStop is going up, and look, Bitcoin is dropping right now. It's dropping to 30,100, but 30,164 right now. But it's going to go back up. There's always going to be corrections. And because it's just simple, specifically Bitcoin is just supply and demand. There's only so many Bitcoins in circulation, and the more people that buy them, and right now is like a good time to get in if the price is dropping. And so, God, I love hearing. So let me ask you this with the GameStop thing. I mean, I remember you were on my show about a year ago, back before the shutdown, where we were in the All Things Comedy studio, and we were talking about like when are like hacktivists going to get involved, or when is, and we're seeing unique ways of sticking it to the establishment, and this is one of them. Like when they whenever all the younger people did, when Trump tried to have that rally in Tulsa and they bought all the tickets or whatever.
Right.
Like,
yeah. I mean, this is another kind of example of that. Justin Jackson, the
sure.
LA Charger. I almost said San Diego Charger, which would be dating myself a little bit. But the LA Charger, he was on my show this morning, and we talked about it because he was the scheduled guest and he was tweeting about it, and then I was looking into it too. So we talked about it to open the show, and he described it as he said in a way like this is sort of this could be like a digital strike. Where he was just saying, imagine if, and this subreddit group didn't do this, but imagine if it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we just did it. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again. And you're not going to know when. You're not going to know where. So your little hedge game is pretty much over unless we start seeing some changes in our society. Mm. So tell your buddies over at the government whose puppet strings you pull, we want everyone to have healthcare. We want a reoccurring UBI until this fucking pandemic's over, or we're going to keep doing this. And you think you lost some this time with GameStop, with a fucking video game store? We're just getting started. I mean, that's where the potential's at,
Absolutely love this because for so many reasons. First of all, we talk about peaceful, nonviolent protests in the street. That's important. But, they know how to thwart that. They know how to send cops and shoot tear gas and get your head. Nobody buying that stock today got shot with rubber bullets. You know what I mean? Yeah. Nobody.
Oh, this is nonviolent. This is totally nonviolent.
Totally nonviolent.
I mean, no one's getting physically harmed.
No one's getting physically harmed at all. And as you and I both know from doing our shows and everything, all the ruling class cares about is money. So when you hurt their pocketbook, that's when they go, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, wait a minute. I don't know. And wow, that's a great, that's because that's when you, as you were explaining it, I was like, well, this is an opportunity. And where are these more sort of coordinated, nonviolent activist events that can, because we've seen a lot of them already, like the during the George Floyd protests of last summer. That's when people pressured FedEx. They went the economic route. They pressured FedEx. FedEx said, change the name of the Washington Redskins. And Snyder, the owner, who's a jackass, has been saying for the better part of 15 years, I'm not changing the name. I'm not. It's a part of our history. FedEx goes, well, we're going to pull our $500 million stadium licensing deal, so you won't have FedEx Field anymore. And he goes, oh, yeah, we'll change it overnight. Had happened like that. When all of a sudden $500 million is about to be pulled off the table, then everybody starts waking up. So
it probably literally was overnight because he's like, we didn't have time. You're just getting a letter. Fuck it. Where are we at? You're the W team now. We'll put a pin in this and revisit it. Just play your W.
It was overnight because he literally was like calling it. They're called the Washington football team. Like literally the most generic name. They've kept the colors, but we're just calling it the Washington football team. And we're going to put the numbers on the jersey or the numbers on the helmet like Alabama does, from the 1920s or whatever. And so it's like,
what day is the focus group booked for? Monday? Fuck them. We're not doing it. Washington football team. We're done. Copy, print, go home.
The Washington bitches of FedEx is what we're going to call ourselves. So that's really curious. And where this could go, Justin Jackson brings up a great point because strikes and boycotts are effective. Look, some people in New York just got an extra $1 an hour that food shipping.
It was the Hunts. Yeah.
Yeah, the doc or whatever. So that's good. But like, what other digital ways could we help change this? Like you said, like it could just be rolling. Like, you don't know, maybe today it's GameStop, tomorrow it's Coca-Cola, the day after, next week it's IBM until we get Medicare for all. I don't know. Like, I'd love to see some focused of these financial, revolutionary or activisms, financial activism in this sector, because it's like that as the hedge funds control it. Like you said, they got the puppet strings of the two parties. So yeah, what else could we do? I mean,
that's a fantastic question. And I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know, like another answer for that. I mean, yeah, it's like you can gobble up tickets for an event. You can, manipulate a stock to an extent. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other, ways people can really kind of disrupt the apple cart in a manner where they're going to be like, okay, what do we need to concede? And, the digital space is as relevant a space as any, because I mean, that's how we're all existing right now, because there's a pandemic. We're all existing digitally.
I mean, it's a more relevant space in some ways than the physical space, as you say, because of the pandemic. But even before or after the pandemic, look, that's where trillions of dollars in commerce is done on a daily. Like, I mean, so that's
not going to change.
No, that's not going to. If anything, it's gone more digital since the pandemic. I mean, so that's a thing right there. I mean, like, wow, I mean, it's limitless what they could do. Like, any company, they find out some hedge funds are doing this, especially the hedge funds that back big pharmaceutical companies, the hedge funds that back the, healthcare lobby that pays both parties to make sure we do not get Medicare for all. That's who you target. Find out what those hedge funds are doing and target them, and keep saying we're targeting, I know for a fact Goldman Sachs. I mean, the president of Goldman Sachs several years ago said finding cures for diseases is bad for business. That's a direct.
They're the villains of the villains, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they are the worst of the worst. And yeah, I mean, and that's what's been, there certainly has been a lot of poetic justice here, and during a time where any reason to smile a little bit is infinitely helpful. And it is pretty epic watching these crooks. I mean, they're criminals, and just watching these Wall Street criminals go, look, we're just trying to scam the American people with the public's money, like we've been doing for years. And these subredditors are being assholes.
Yeah. How do they pitch this in the corporate media?
These Zoomers and these millennials with their internet, they're just fucking things up for us.
We're trying to just fleece the American people on a daily without anybody knowing about it. And then a bunch of punks on Reddit we lost money and they made money. That's not right. Oh, you mean they out-scammed you? Like,
they beat us. I have worked hard my entire life, contributing absolutely nothing to the world. Nothing. There is no benefit in what I do, but it works out for me. And these people on Reddit are fun. I didn't even know what Reddit was until this morning. My butler told me what Reddit was, and I don't like it.
Oh, and my butler's name is Red, and I fired him just for having that name. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I love it when somebody gets scammed and they get caught. Like, so somebody, you created a scam, and then they used your scam against you, and now you're mad? Oh, okay.
Please tell me more.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me get out my violin. We
can
do this together.
Yes. Maybe your tears, maybe your, $15 martini will catch your tears. You rich parasite.
They won't even need to salt the rim for your margarita because you got your tears for that.
Yeah. Let's have a moment of silence for the hedge funds that lost a lot of money. Like, let's for real. Like, that's a real, let's have a moment of silence and a big fat cup of thoughts and prayers. Like, like, if they can't, what if they have to sell one of their summer homes? I mean, Ron, this isn't fun. These kids have caused a lot of problems. Like, I mean, What if now think about this? What if they can't take a helicopter from Manhattan to the Hamptons and they have to drive?
Well, this could be an opportunity for them. They learned what Reddit is. Now they're going to have to learn what GoFundMe is. I mean, this is just, they're one step at a time.
Yeah, maybe they got to get a GoFundMe for their next helicopter. This is just a shame.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It is completely beautiful. That's a wonderful story. What a happy story.
It happens occasionally.
Yeah, we got to find the wins. We got to find the wins where we can get them, because doing a YouTube show, as I know you're aware of, in this climate, is like, oh, every day is just like, what next? Mm-hmm. Better find a point to life soon, because this is getting dark. But this was beautiful. So bless you, subreddit page. Blessings to you for doing that. And thanks for watching The Political Vigilante. Like, share, and subscribe, and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at GrahamElwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.